If someone had told me a year ago that I would be here, sitting alone in my sister's living room, trying to pick up the pieces of my shattered heart, I wouldn't have believed them. I was too busy planning my dream wedding, working hard to provide for my family, and loving Tao with every fiber of my being. We met 3 years ago in this small coastal town in North Carolina, where the sun dipped into the ocean and painted the sky with hues of pink and orange. I was swept off my feet by his charming smile, his kind words, and his gentle touch. He was my rock, my partner, my best friend. I thought we had it all. Looking back, I can see the red flags waving in the wind, but I ignored them, blinded by love. He suddenly needed more space and alone time, and I told myself he was just stressed with work. He would come home late, smelling freshly showered, and I would think he had just stopped by the gym on his way home from a long day at the office. He was always extremely protective of his phone, but I thought that was just because he was a private person. I remember when my mom was diagnosed with cancer. Tao was there for me, holding my hand through the darkest times. I thought he was my everything, and I was his. We decided to get married, and I was over the moon with excitement. I quit my job to take care of my mom full-time, and Tao promised to support us financially. I thought we were in this together, but then things started to change. He started making more and more excuses for his late night. He would tell me I was being paranoid, that I was overreacting. He would gaslight me, making me doubt my own sanity. I started to feel like I was walking on eggshells, never knowing when he would blow up at me for questioning him. "Baby, you are being so insecure," he would say, his voice soft and gentle. "I love you, and I would never do anything to hurt you." I wanted to believe him. I wanted to trust him. But deep down, I knew something was off. And then, one day, he came home with a bouquet of expensive flowers. "Just because," he said, smiling at me with those piercing blue eyes. It was a small gesture, but it sparked something in me. I started to investigate, to dig deeper. That's when I found it. The wedding venue we had booked, the one we were going to make our dream wedding a reality, was already booked under another woman's name. My heart stopped. My world crumbled. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. I tried to call him, to confront him, but he did not answer. I went to his office, but he was not there. I was left with only my thoughts, and they were consuming me. I did not know what to do, so I did the only thing I could think of. I reached out to my sister. She let me move in with her, and I was grateful for her love and support. Days passed, and I heard nothing from Tao. I was starting to lose hope, but then my phone rang. It was an unknown number. "Hello?" I said, my voice shaking. "Hey, is this, Rachel?" a hesitant voice said. "Yes, it is. Who's this?" "My name is Emily. I think you need to know something about Tao." My heart skipped a beat. "What about him?" There was a pause on the other end of the line. "We have a shared bank account, and there's a lot of money in it. More than I think you two have." I felt like I had been punched again. "A shared bank account? With another woman?" I did not know what to say. "Thank you," I managed to say, my voice barely above a whisper. "Thank you for telling me." I hung up the phone, and I just sat there, trying to process everything. I felt like my whole world had been turned upside down. And then, I saw him. He walked into my sister's living room, smiling at me like nothing was wrong. "Hey, babe," he said, dropping down beside me on the couch. "I've been looking all over for you." I looked at him, and I felt a surge of anger. I felt a surge of betrayal. I knew I had to get out of there, to get away from him. I stood up and I walked away. Without a word. Without looking back. I just walked away. It was liberating. It was freeing. I felt like I was finally taking control of my life. As I walked out the door, I knew I had a long road ahead of me. I knew I would have to face the pain, the betrayal, and the heartache. But I also knew I would emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient. I took a deep breath, and I started walking. I did not know where I was going, but I knew I was going to be okay. I was going to heal, and I was going to rise from the ashes. And as I walked, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. I felt a sense of closure. I knew I would never go back to him, to that toxic relationship. I knew I deserved better. I deserved to be loved, to be cherished, and to be respected. And I was going to find that. I was going to find myself, and I was going to find happiness. It was a journey, not a destination. And I was ready to take the first step.